Good evening to everyone and welcome to today's session. Shweta, Akshay Purohit, Vijay Bhargava and Sai Ram and many more. So now we are going to a few very fundamental areas of the preparation. To pass the final MBBS Part 2 is also a very big journey for a lot of students. In fact, the ultimate success in the NEET PG, Foreign Medical Graduate Exam, AIMS PG or PGI, anything, always has a basis from the conceptual level at the undergraduate preparation. So in short future, when the next exam is introduced, the final year exam itself is going to be transformed into the NEET PG and FMGE. So that is the reason, Doctor, I thought some of the very crucial topics in medicine, surgery, gynocs, orthopedics and pediatrics, wherever I get an opportunity, I thought of having a quick revision topic wise. That is the plan. So we will continue our original plan of revising MCQ based discussion, but this is a little premiere for what we have started as the MBBS final year part 2 preparation quick revision sessions in the 4 subjects: medicine, surgery, gynocs, ortho and pediatrics, 5 subjects. So in pediatrics, one of the favorite questions of the examiner is vaccines, right, doc? So a very common question, many times asked even as an essay question and a short answer is the typhoid vaccine types, dose, schedule and age of vaccination. So let us clear some of the common basics. Always in vaccination, at least one vial, you should go to the pediatrics department and see the vaccine. You will never forget. So this is a typical typhoid polysaccharide vaccine. Typhim VI typically looks like. This is a typhoid flagellar conjugate vaccine, 1 single dose pre-filled syringe of 0.5 ml. Similarly, this is a typhoid capsular polysaccharide and tetanus toxoid conjugate vaccine called Type Bar is another brand name. So this is another look of a typhoid vaccine. And also there is a oral vaccine which is available in typhoid, which is called live oral. Typh 21A is the vaccine which you need to remember. This is another example of a typhoid vaccine, live oral attenuated TY21A vaccine is a spotter which you need to recognize in the tomorrow's pediatrics practical exam. Now, doctor, where is the typhoid vaccine recommended? Those who live in the endemic areas, the household contacts, the group who are at risk of typhoid, like school children, hospital staff, those who are attending melas, radhayatras, etc., Kumbh Mela, etc. There are 3 types of vaccines in typhoid. Injectable typhoid vaccine, Typhim VI and Typhivax. There is a live oral vaccine which is called Typh oral vaccine and Tab vaccine. So these are the 3 different types of vaccine which are available. Now 1-2 comments about each of them. So you can tell your juniors who have passed their, who recently appeared in MBBS Part 1, that is ENT Optal SPM is over, and who have entered into the MBBS final part 2, that is into medicine. surgery, gynocs, orthopedics, pediatrics. They are going to have every Sunday, morning to evening, 10 a.m. to evening 5 p.m., a quick crash course along with 250 hours of video lectures and 20,000 PPT slides of the quick revision of the hottest topics for the passing of the MBBS final year exam. You can tell your juniors to subscribe at a throwaway price. Now, doctor, injectable Typhoid VI vaccine. It is a single dose injectable which is created from the bacterial capsule of the S. typhi strain, Ty21A. And what is the age group where you want to give? Over the age of 2 years. The child must be over the age of 2 years. It should be given subcutaneous or IM. It has a 64 to 72% efficacy. That's what you should remember. Then type oral vaccine. Mainly to pass the MBBS final year exam, as all of you know, some of you already passed the exam in high flying colors. About every topic which is the examiner's favorite, you should know how to write 5 to 6 points in the tomorrow's exam. Similarly, in the Viva was, what are 3 to 4 things that the examiner expects? You should be very sure. So, type oral is a live attenuated vaccine from the Ty21A strain. 50 to 80% is the efficacy. And type oral is not recommended if the child's age is less than 2 years, is what you need to remember. And how do you give this? You will give 1 capsule orally. It is being taken 1 hour before the food with a glass of water or milk. First day, third day, fifth day. And no antibiotic you should give. Immunity will start from 2 to 3 weeks and it will last for 3 years. And you need to give a booster dose after 3 years is what you have to remember. So the important facts which are favorite Viva Voce questions in the tomorrow's exam are, how long will the immunity will be lasting? It will be lasting for 3 years. It need a booster. And are they effective on paratyphoid? No. They are not effective for the prevention of the paratyphoid fever. So you can remember day 1, let us say 9th September. Day 3, it will be 11th September. Day 5, 13th September. Day 7, 15th September. So this is how oral typhoid fever vaccine is being administered, is what you need to remember. Nowadays, examiner is actually postgraduate entrance exam, medical entrance exam is a glorified version of the final year exam, honestly speaking, right? So, if our basics are good, the same things are translated into a multiple choice question and asked. So, that is the reason, if you attend this, some of the extempore sessions I delivered to help the final year MBBS students, that's not a waste, because the same concepts are going to come as MCQs for you in the tomorrow's PG medical entrance also, right, doc? So this is the typhoid VI polysaccharide vaccine, flagella, which is used parenterally. This is once more typhoid flagellar conjugate vaccine type bar, and the typhoid vaccine injection parenterally given is only given for adults and children above the age of 2 years, is what you need to remember. So now, doctor, the next favorite question for the University of Health Science MBBS final year part 2 board exam, very common short note is pneumococcal vaccine. What are the types and dosage and schedule is what you should remember. So totally there are 82 hot topics in pediatrics. Typically pediatrics in final MBBS part 2 There are 11 questions, typically one long question and 10 shorts will come, and there is also a short case for the pediatrics case presentation. So once you are good with this 82 hot topics, at least 25-30 points about each of them. Once you are good with those 2000 to 4000 hot points, you will get a distinction score in your final MBBS. And that itself is a basis also for tomorrow's postgraduate medical entrance exam also. Now doctor, let us talk about it. Always vaccines. एक बार वो वैक्सीन का वायल पकड़ना चाहिए. You have to hold the vaccine vial, look at the print of it. Then the conviction, confidence will come. If possible, administer to one baby in the OPD. That is the best way. So this is a pneumococcal 13-valent conjugate vaccine typically looks like. So we use diphtheria CRM 197 protein to conjugate. It comes with a brand name called Prevnar 13. So it is a one dose 0.5 ml is what you should remember. So this is also called Pneumovax 23-valent pneumococcal vaccine, which is polyvalent. Once more, this should not be used, please don't forget, this is commonly asked in the vivos by the pediatrics examiner. This should not be used less than 2 years of age. The same examiner will become the vivos asking external examiner will become a NEET PG examiner tomorrow, and he is going to catch up with you in the form of an MCQ. So it should not be less than 2 years of age is what you need to remember. Now let us fatafat 10 points about pneumococcal vaccine. Let us catch it up. So you tell all your juniors who are exam going for their final MBBS, who entered into final MBBS, that now preparation to the final MBBS is going to be a game with 250 hours of revision of nearly around 450 hot topics from medicine, surgery, gynops, ortho, pediatrics for the final year examination, right? So you can tell them, and every Sunday they have a morning to evening live broadcasted session of one of the subjects taking up the very hot topics of the examiner. Already we have all these topics, PowerPoints, everything in our video library. But still, videos are videos, mobile apps are mobile apps, books are books. And a live interaction and getting stimulated every day, that is the need ultimately to read, revise, reproduce, and get a rewarding experience out of the exam. Now doctor, pneumococcal polysaccharide vaccine. It contains 23 capsular types of pneumococcus. Pneumococcal conjugate vaccine, PCV means pneumococcal conjugate vaccine. PPV means pneumococcal polysaccharide vaccine. It contains the polysaccharide from 13 common capsular antigens. Here's what you need to remember. Shweta, happy Pongal. I enjoyed a lot of WhatsApp wishes, and a good number of students gave a call on Sankranti. Thank you very much, you made my day. And of course, some of them are still having that nagging feeling of that NEET PG, which is already over. It is over. Almost the new time has come. Within another 100 days, we are having the AIMS and PGI May 2020. And those who are going for FMGE, the next June exam is ahead. So that is the reason we need to leave behind the past. By chance, if the result comes great, we will celebrate, right? So these are conjugated to protein CRM197, and they use a similar technology for even creating Haemophilus influenza type B conjugated vaccine, meningococcal C conjugated vaccine, same technique. So pneumococcal polysaccharide vaccine, Pneumovax, dosage 0.5 ml, IM subcutaneous. Pneumococcal conjugate vaccine, typically 7-valent, it's called Prevnar, and dosing is 0.5 ml. 5 ml IM is what you need to remember. Mahipal is asking, sir, what about PG entrance preparation? Yeah, we will have our regular schedule of FMGE question bank topic wise, and we are having a discussion. We will continue that. Just because the 4th, on 26th, Sunday, we are starting a live face-to-face interaction with the final MBBS Part 2 students. Just I want to give them a primer beforehand, the taste of Dr. Murli Bharadwaj classes. So that is the reason we are broadcasting this live. Okay, so we will do the FMGE classes. This is just as a add-on primer for the final MBBS Part 2 juniors. Now, doctor, the polysaccharide vaccine, it contains 23 serotypes, and 1977 May, they used to use 14-valent, but now 23-valent. Then how is immunity produced if you give the Pneumovax? It is through the stimulation of the B cells, which release the IgM without the need of T cells. You are directly stimulating using this vaccine the B cells, and they release the IgM, and that provide the immunological memory. Now, what are the important questions asked in both final MBBS Part 2 and also PG entrance is, to which subset of population is this indicated? Pneumococcal vaccine. Age 65 and older, age 2 through 64 with any of the conditions like smokers, alcoholics, chronic liver disease, cirrhosis, chronic cardiovascular disease, chronic pulmonary disease, diabetes, virtually all geriatric patients. Cochlear implant, CSF leak, any autosplenectomy like sickle cell disease, or those who have undergone splenectomy. Similarly, those who had HIV, leukemia, Hodgkin's, lymphoma, multiple myeloma, solid organ transplantation, those who have CRF, those who have nephrotic syndrome, they're all the subset of population to which this PPSV23 is indicated. Now, any person aged more than 65, immunocompetent children more than 5 years who are at increased risk of illness, persons aged more than 5 years who have asplenia, immunocompromised, they are all the important recommendations. Now, if you happen to give polysaccharide vaccine, what are the challenges in the pediatric population? It is not effective in children less than 2 years. No effect on nasal carriage. This is a favorite MCQ also. No herd effect because of it. Herd immunity is not achieved. There is no immunological memory. So these are all the important limitations. And within 3 to 7 years only the immunity will last. So they need to be revaccinated every 5 to 6 years is what you have to basically remember. Okay, now let's quickly go to the next important point. How do you store the pneumococcal vaccine? 2 to 8 degrees Celsius protected from light, and you administer where? Upper arm in the children and adults, or anterolateral thigh in infants under the 1 year of age, and that is the whole idea. If it is a polysaccharide vaccine, local reactions are more. Fever, myalgia are more with the conjugate vaccine. That's the point you need to remember. Now comes the favorite question of the examiner for the tomorrow's MBBS final year part 2 Pediatrics. What are the differences of the oral and inactivated polio vaccine? What is this vaccine? Oral polio vaccine. And what is this? Vaccine vial monitor. So, oral versus inactivated. Inactivated is trivalent. Oral can be trivalent against 1, 2, 3 strains, bivalent 1 and 3 strains, or monovalent, only 1, only 2, or only 3. The main advantages of the oral polio is cheap, easy to administer, good intestinal immunity excreted in the feces, and it provides passive immunity. Whereas inactivated vaccine, the main advantage is the vaccine associated paralytic polio will come now. You listen in the newspapers that in that particular camp the babies developed unfortunate incident of vaccine associated paralytic polio. That is not a problem with inactivated polio vaccine. It provides humoral immunity, and it is highly effective. They are all the pros of inactivated polio vaccine. Then oral polio vaccine, VAP. We are afraid of VAP. Vaccine associated paralytic polio is more common with oral polio. And in the tropical developing countries, there is a lower immune response. That is the reason you need to give 3 doses. Generally, for a live attenuated vaccine, 1 dose only is given. But exception is your oral polio vaccine, which is being given in 3 doses. You need to give additional booster doses. And type 2 vaccine strain will lower the immune response from the type 1 and type 3. That is a point you need to remember. Now, how about the inactivated polio vaccine? It is more costly than OPV. You cannot give it to volunteers. It cannot be administered by volunteers. Obviously, because it is injectable, volunteers cannot do. Whereas oral, even volunteers can be able to administer. A school teacher can be able to administer. It does not confer any passive immunity. Inactivated polio vaccine is what you need to remember. The next favorite question of the examiner, doctor, frequently asked short notes in the final year MBBS part 2 under the vaccination topic is BCG immunization. Quickly 10 points about BCG you should know. First, एक बार BCG vaccine को देख लो, नहीं तो टेंशन आता है एग्जाम हॉल में. This is a BCG, 40 milligram per ml. Of course, this is BCG for bladder carcinoma BCG, not the one which is given as a vaccine. Okay, but BCG is also given many other places also, right? Now, Let's talk about BCG vaccine. BCG, bacilli calmette guarine, called Mycobacterium bovis, closely the cousin of TB. And it is a freeze-dried vaccine, and you have to add it with the diluent and a vial with 20 doses. The dose for the newborn is 0.05 ml. Kitna? 0.05 ml. It is given into right upper arm, intradermally, not intramuscularly. The examiner will definitely fail if you say intramuscular. And it should be discarded within 6 hours after mixing. And it can be given to the baby up to 1 year old. You can be able to give it. Now there is a mild side effect. There will be a papule which is red, tender and indurated in 2 to 4 weeks. And it becomes ulcerated. It becomes healing after 2 to 5 months, and it will leave a BCG vaccine scar. Now, what are the important side effects of it? Local abscess, keloid, lymphadenitis, suppuration, systemic, cutaneous skin lesion, osteitis, disseminated BCG, immune reconstitution syndrome. Any of them can be the rare severe side effects. Now, what is an absolute contraindication for BCG? Previous dose, if there is any anaphylaxis, don't try it this time. Immunodeficiency, don't give it to an infant who is already infected with HIV. Even if he is asymptomatic but HIV positive, don't give. And what are the relative contraindications? Febrile change, temperature more than 38.5, children with minor cough and colds can safely be given. Now, how do you read the vaccine viral monitor? The inner square is lighter. This is inner square is lighter than the outer circle. You can use this vaccine. If the inner square is lighter than the outer circle, if the expiry date has not been passed, then use the vaccine. Still you can use the vaccine. Then inner square, same as the color of the outer square, don't use it. Inform the supervisor. Inner square is darker than the outer circle. Also do not use, inform the supervisor. So don't forget, doctor. This is a favorite question in the pediatrics vivavos when you go for the final MBBS part 2. So this is the typical intradermal injection of the BCG vaccination. So always to give intradermal, what should the angle of your poking? 15 degrees. To give subcutaneous, it should be 45 degrees. And in order to give intramuscular, typically it can be 70 to 90 degrees. You know very well, there is a skin, subcutaneous tissue and muscle. So what you are doing is you are giving directly into the skin. That is called intradermal. Intradermal ke liye, what should be the angle at which you are administering? 15 degrees is the angle. This is what you need to remember. So now you know 10 points about it. What will you do as a final MBBS student? Just barge yourself into the ward. Make your hands completely unfrozen by administering to one full OPD of children. You say that I am the one who is going to give the BCG, intradermal. 15 degree, 15 degree, 15 degree, 15 degree. Khatam, you are the expert. So doctor, typically what happens is, why I started this program mainly is it's very difficult to teach medicine. Any medical subject, I mean, in the sense, especially final year, there is some theory. No one can teach you theory. Only Murli Bharadwaj can. Second is practical. Typically, if your theory, if you are having a working knowledge, your confidence is high. You will try to start implementing when you go to hospital into the cases, whether somebody is there to guide you or not. So that is the reason I am trying to fill you this gap. In the form of video library, already 250 hours is there, right? Extensive discussion of 400 hottest topics of the past 15 years of University of Health Sciences board exam, MBBS exam papers. So once you are good with this, what do you need to do? Just you need to walk into the hospital and start seeing the cases. Do case shopping. Spend 5-6 hours every day in the wards. Don't wait for someone to come and teach, because you already know. You need to look for a loud first heart sound, a mid-diastolic rumble, because it is mitral stenosis. And what is the penicillin prophylaxis that you need to give to them in a long run? What is the dosage of it? What are the complications of? Is there carditis? Is there Sydenham's chorea? Is there arthritis? Is there polyarthralgia? What is the history? So once you are every topic, hardly there will be not more than 15-20 points that you need to know with confidence. Then when you walk into the hospital, nobody need to teach you, doctor. So that is what I am trying to do. So tell your juniors, there is only one teacher who will make them confident to go to the hospital, see the cases every day, and make the best utilization February to December. Your juniors are taking their final MBBS Part 2 exam in next January. So this 11 months, once you revise 250 hours, video library of all the hot topics, you have the notes, everything available. Every Sunday, I'll take opportunity to spend 5 to 6 hours of live online or face-to-face class in Hyderabad, if you are from Hyderabad. So to give you the revision of some of the crucial things out of these hot stock topics for final MBBS Part 2, right? But most important, 1 ounce of knowledge, 10 spoons of practice. That is the rule of clinical medicine. इतना पढ़ना है, इतना सीखना है, इतना practice करना है. That is the only way you become the champion. And take every chance to wear a glove and do something. I will do PR here, I will do CSF drainage there, I will do venesection there, I will assist the hysterectomy. Hey, I am also scrubbing to join the appendectomy. That's the spirit. And always teachers are also, remember doctor, अगर आप 2 कदम आगे बढ़ाए तो कोई भी teacher, junior resident also will be happy to put another 2 steps to take you on the learning curve. Nobody will gone are those old days where the great teachers, even if you are a little slow student, they used to hold your hand, make you feel the pericardial scratch. Elevated JVP, they used to make you to look into it. They used to make you feel S3, S4 and murmurs. Gone are those days, long back. Even while we were students only, those days are gone. So that is the reason today modern learning is all, you learn few ounces of the fundamental basics of every topic in onlinembbs.com video library. Go to the hospital and try to put it in practice as much as possible. Right? So, diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, Hepatitis B, Haemophilus type B conjugate vaccine का डिब्बा कैसे दिखाएगा? समझ में आ गया ना? You go to the pediatrics ward and ask the sister Lily, show me where is the DPT vaccine vial. She will give a extempore lecture to you. So diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis acellular component vaccine. It is absorbed and made available as DTPA vaccine. Now let us talk about diphtheria. Diphtheria vaccine, 10 points about each of it. It is a bacterial protein toxin, detoxified bacterial protein toxin. It is injectable intramuscularly, toxigenic corynebacterium which is infected with beta phase. It neutralizes only unbound toxin and the lifetime of the antibody is 15 days to 3 weeks. Wait 3 to 4 weeks before giving toxoid. That is very important. And this is given only once. So how do you manufacture? The toxigenic strain of the Clostridium diphtheria is grown in the Fenton medium with a bovine extract. And it is toxoided by incubation with formaldehyde for several weeks. Then it is purified by precipitation, dialysis, sterile, filtered, absorbed into the aluminum hydroxide. So it still has a antigenicity but does not have the pathogenicity. It has that immunogenicity capable of stimulating your immune system, but it does not have that pathogenicity. That's how the manufacturing is being done. So you have a killed whole cell, still used in developing countries, relatively cheap. Then acellular and even recombinant. Only thing is, it is expensive, little expensive for the pocket. So DPT is pediatric, TDAP is adolescent and adult. DPT, what is the age group approved? 6 weeks through 6 years, up to age of 7 years. Same amount of diphtheria and tetanus toxoid as that of the DT. Whether DT ho or DPT ho, diphtheria, tetanus quantity is same. TDAP, approved for the persons 10 to 18 years if you use the brand Boostrix, 11 to 64 years if it is Edacel. It contains less amount of diphtheria toxoid and it contains acellular pertussis. What is the meaning of AP? Acellular pertussis. That is TDAP, is what you need to remember. Next, tetanus toxoid. It is formalin inactivated tetanus toxin. The schedule is 3 to 4 doses plus booster. Booster every 10 years. 100% efficacious, effective for about 10 years, and it should be administered with diphtheria toxoid as DTAP, DT, TD, TDAP. That's what you need to remember. So what is the routine DPT primary vaccination schedule, doctor? Primary 1, 6 weeks. Primary 2, 10 weeks. Primary 3, 14 weeks. Booster 15 to 18 months. Then 4 to 6 years. Then 11 to 12 years. And then every 10 years. That is what you need to remember. Now what are the important side effects of DPT, doctor? 20 to 40% can develop local reaction like pain, redness, swelling. Pyrexia, temperature more than 101 degrees Fahrenheit. Very common reaction with DPT. If you sit 2 days in pediatrics OPD, main job will be to teach the new mothers about breastfeeding, manage dehydration cases, fever, pneumonias, common colds, and vaccination. This is the major part of the routine of pediatrics, doctor. Right? So, Local reactions are more common with the fourth and fifth dose. Now, what are the contraindications for DPT? Favorite question of the examiner. Any severe allergic reaction to vaccine component and encephalopathy not due to other identifiable cause occurring within 7 days after vaccination. So they are the main contraindications. So why do you want to give Tdap to the adolescents and adults? To protect the vaccinated adolescent and the adult from the pertussis, and to reduce the reservoir of the pertussis so that you can reduce the spread of pertussis to persons at risk. Like suppose if this adolescent guy in his home, if there is an infant aged less than 12 months, or if there is a grandpa who has a comorbid condition, they should not get affected. That is the basis of giving Tdap to this vaccinated adolescents is what you need to remember. So while you are giving DPT vaccination, doctor, what are the precautions? Temperature more than 105, any shock-like state, inconsolable crying, abba, some kids cry that there will be cracks in the roof of government pediatric hospital, lasting more than 3 hours, occurring within 48 hours. Any convulsions with or without fever occurring within 3 days. Any moderate to severe acute illness. They are the precautions for DPT is what you should remember. You will easily do a revision of this list of precautions, which is also a favorite MCQ. When you go tomorrow for the entrance exam, just to recite these precautions with a mother. Talk to her, Amma, these are the precautions for the DPT. You explain her, this is what is the meaning of DPT. Diphtheria, pertussis. Pertussis means what? Whooping cough. So once you start talking to the patients, next time when she comes to OPD, she will tell, my child has a lot of fever, doctor. I was so afraid. But you have told me that fever is very common after this vaccine. I have given a cold tepid sponging, paracetamol. My little cub, Lion King, is now all right. Thank you, doctor, for educating me that day. Otherwise, I would have panicked. She will come and thank you when she comes next time. So that is how you need to learn every day. Now, doctor, Tdap is received by adolescents 11 to 12 years of age, and they should receive single dose of Tdap if they already completed the childhood Tdap vaccination series is what you need to remember. Now the next favorite area, doctor, favorite question of the examiner. Measles वैक्सीन के बारे में 5 पंक्तियों में लिखिए. That is your next question in the exam. Measles. एक बार मीजल्स मम्स रूबेला वैक्सीन का दर्शन कीजिए, करे तो आप भूलेगा नहीं. सिंगल डोज 0.5 ml वायर MMR vaccine. Okay, now this is another example of the MMR vaccine. Now, the MMR is recommended at 12 to 15 months of age, and it is given for measles post-exposure, any outbreak prophylaxis as early as 6 months of age, if there is any outbreak prophylaxis. A second immunization also as MMR is recommended routinely at 4 to 6 years of age. MMR can be given at any time during childhood, provided at least 4 weeks has elapsed from first dose. फर्स्ट डोज के बाद 1 month बीत गए तो कभी भी दे सकते हैं आप MMR. Second measles immunization should be given to the children who have not previously received the second dose, and they should be immunized by 11 to 12 years of age. Similarly, adolescents entering the college or the workforce, second measles immunization. You have to do a tuberculin test prior to or concurrent with an active immunization against measles. If you are considering possibility of any tuberculosis in the given patient, first tuberculin test करके TB नहीं है तो तब दे दो. That is the important precaution. What are the places where measles vaccine is not recommended, contraindicated? Pregnant women, gynops 1. Those who have primary immunodeficiency, untreated TB, cancer, organ transplantation, immunosuppression, severely immunocompromised, HIV infected children. Then, if the child is HIV infected without any severe immunosuppression, suppose CD4 count is good only HIV positive, can you give measles? These are the practical things. Both the pediatrics external examiner will ask you in the Vilobos, and also in the NEET PG, FMGE, PGA, AIMS, same things will come in the format of an MCQ. Yes sir, we can give HIV infected child without any severe immunosuppression. He can receive the measles vaccine is what you need to remember. So what is the post-exposure prophylaxis? Passive immunization with immunoglobulin is effective for prevention and attenuation of measles if you happen to give it within 6 days of exposure. To whom do you want to give? If somebody had measles, so household or the hospital contacts who are younger than 12 months of age. That is the reason they say children are not permitted to come to hospital, right? Similarly, pregnant women also, susceptible household or hospital contact hai to they should receive a immunoglobulin of measles 0.25 ml per kg, maximum 15 ml intramuscularly as soon as possible after exposure, but within 5 days. Within 5 days. That is what you need to remember. Immunocompromised person should receive immunoglobulin intramuscularly irrespective of their immunization status. Right? And infants 6 months of age or younger born to non-immune mothers should also receive the immunoglobulin, passive immunization. Infants 6 months of age or younger born to the immune mothers who are considered protected by the maternal antibody. So they are some of the important clinical scenarios. And susceptible children 6 to 12 months of age should also be vaccinated. And this vaccination is not counted as one of the 2 required measles vaccines. Suppose the child is susceptible because he has an exposure, and for that you have vaccinated, but that vaccine should not be counted as the second dose. That's a point you need to remember. Similarly, susceptible children 12 months or older should receive the vaccine alone within 12 hours, within 72 hours. Right? And if there is a pregnant woman, immunocompromised person, they should receive the immunoglobulin but not vaccine. So who should receive vaccine but not immunoglobulin? Who should receive immunoglobulin but not vaccine? You have to be very sure, doctor. In the tomorrow's examiner is going to be very, very clear. With clear conscience, he is going to test you in the tomorrow's exam. The next short answer question डॉक्टर, हेपेटाइटिस बी वैक्सीन के बारे में पूछेगा कल के एग्जामिनर। नाउ डॉक्टर, आप सबको मालूम है एंजेरिक्स Hepatitis B surface antigen 20 microgram suspension for injection intramuscular use. That is what you should remember. So this is a hepatitis B vaccine, 10 ml 10 doses. Okay डॉक्टर, एक बार देख लिया आपने recombinant vaccine कैसे दिखाएगा। Now hepatitis B 90% of the babies infected with the Hep B around the time of birth will become chronic. 25% of the babies who develop chronic will die due to liver failure or liver cancer. Lot of people who have hepatitis B don't know that they have because they don't feel sick. So how do you prevent the perinatal HBV transmission? In order to prevent the HBV transmission from mother to infant, the first dose of the vaccine needs to be given as soon as possible after birth, preferably within 24 hours. And it can be given up to 7 days if you can't do it within 24 hours. That is the point you need to appreciate. Now, how are these hepatitis B vaccine available? Liquid, single dose, glass vial, 0.5 ml auto-disable syringes are recommended. You can even use standard disposable syringes, 1 ml or 2 ml with 22 by 23 gauge needle is recommended, and it should be used only once because you are poking into somebody. It is hepatitis B. The standard pediatric dose is 0.5 ml. Okay, IM injection into the right thigh. All vaccinations easy to remember, right? BCG right is also right. So right thigh is what you should remember. So examiner tomorrow viva voce में the specific things they will ask because they are interested to know whether you have gone during your final MBBS part 2 postings to the pediatric ward. Did you accompany the vaccination? Have you at least vaccinated a child or not? They are very keen about it. And really also that is lifetime experience, no doctor, right? Now, if you know all these basics, you will get interested to participate in administering the vaccination. So recombinant DNA vaccine is hepatitis B. And how do you administer, doctor? 0.5 ml IM in less than 1 year or 1 ml if the child's age is more than 1 year is what you need to remember. You need to give a dose of 0.5 ml in newborns and 0.6 ml per kg for all other ages, and that is immunoglobulin. And it should be given within 48 hours of exposure. Very important. All the babies all the babies should have hepatitis B vaccine if they are low birth weight, premature baby, jaundice, and HIV mother should still be given hepatitis B vaccine. That is a point you have to be very, very clear about. Now, there can be local pain, myalgia, transient fever, swelling, erythema, headache, जो भी आता है लिख लो. Severe is anaphylaxis. Where is the injection site? This is also a favorite MCQ in the tomorrow's FMGE exam or NEET PG exam. Vastus lateralis rectus femoris is the classical location for the injection of the hepatitis B is what you need to remember. You won't forget now. Vastus lateralis rectus femoris is the classical location. एक बार दिए तो आप भूलेगा नहीं. So tomorrow you are going to promise me that you will do a vaccination, then you will remember forever. Rotavirus vaccine, types, dose schedule, age of vaccination is another frequently asked university final MBBS part 2. Short notes doctor, you have to be very sure. एक बार रोटा वायरस वैक्सीन वाइल का दर्शन कीजिए, किया, right? Rotavirus, Rotavac, single dose for oral administration only, live attenuated, vero cell derived. All MCQs are printed on the cover only directly. So this is a rotavirus vaccine, live attenuated. One more brand called Rotarix. So Rotatec, Rotarix. Rotarix is GSK manufactured, Rotatec is Merck manufactured. Now both of them are orally given, and Rotatec is liquid. Efficacy is more for the Rotarix because human rotavirus 89-12 strain is the one which is used. Now doctor, Rotatec, Rotavirix are the two currently available global vaccines. Both are oral vaccines. That's the point. 98% of the children who receive the vaccine are protected from severe rotavirus. It is some good news you can tell the parent. Though it does not prevent the diarrhea and vomiting due to any other pathogen, only it will help in rotavirus, obviously. Along with the other childhood vaccines, rotavirus can be given. It is given in 3 doses, but all the 3 doses should be given by 32 weeks of age. That means before 6.5 months, no, between 5 to 6 months, 32 weeks of age, khatam karna hai. First dose at second month, second dose 4th month, third dose 6th month. Rotarix is given as a 2-dose series that can be started infant as young as 6 weeks old, and the second dose can be given as early as 4 weeks later, but before 24 weeks of age. Before 24 weeks of age of the child is what you need to remember. So that is the story of rotavirus vaccine. Got it? Now, the next favorite question in the university exam is Haemophilus influenza B vaccine. You have to be very, very sure about that. एक बार दर्शन कर लो, DPT, Hepatitis B, Hib, combined vaccine. So, Haemophilus influenza B is a dirty organism because it can lead to pneumonia, it can lead to meningitis. This vaccine is 0.5 ml, intramuscular, anterolateral side of the mid-thigh, 6th, 10th, 14th week, and a subsequent booster after the age of 1 year. But that booster after 1 year is no more included under the universal immunization schedule. And there is also a combination, just before you have seen that, Hepatitis B, DPT and Hib. Combined vaccine is also available. As a newborn is born, no, there are so many things ready to be poked into his body. Now, doctor, I will take you to the final question under this topic called vaccinations. Like this, there are 82 hot topics in pediatrics, doctor. They're all available. All this content is available, PowerPoints, videos, everything. बहुत बार डिस्कस करके वीडियो लाइब्रेरी में अवेलेबल है आप रिवीजन करने के लिए. फिर भी हम आपके साथ हर एक साल पढ़ाई करेंगे ताकि आपको that stimulation is all that is required. So national immunization, so totally 82 topics 40 hours में रिवीजन करें तो पीडियाट्रिक्स में डिस्टिंक्शन स्कोर नहीं है तो मेरा नाम मुरली भारद्वाज नहीं है, मैं आके आपके एक्सटर्नल एग्जामिनर के साथ लड़ाई करूंगा अगर आपको नहीं दिए तो डिस्टिंक्शन, राइट? सो दैट इज 40 hours. How much time you take? You spend 3 hours a day. Within about 10 days pediatrics khatam. Only thing is you need to keep on redoing, practicing it in the wards and do more and more case presentations. Now doctor, what are the vaccines given IM subcutaneous? Favorite question. DPT, IPV, Hep A, Hep B, Hib, influenza, pneumococcal, meningococcal, typhoid, IM, should not forget. Similarly, measles, mumps, rubella, MMR, varicella, IPV can both the subcutaneous IM. Pneumococcal, meningococcal, they're all subcutaneous is what you need to remember. Now doctor, I will quickly take you on a run through the National Immunization Program. What are the recent inclusions, most recent inclusions, exclusions? Because this is one topic, doctor, routinely there are a lot of new things included and excluded. That's the reason you have to keep your knowledge very current about it. Once more, for a brevity of quick repetition, I will once more take you around what we already discussed. Inactivated polio vaccine, Salk vaccine, introduced in India in November 2015. It is reintroduced. It has inactivated, killed polio virus. It is given as a single IM dose of 0.5 ml in a phased manner as a part of polio end game strategy. This is a favorite MCQ in the tomorrow's exam also. In April 2016, they have introduced fractionated dose IPV along with the national switch of top V to BOP V. Now, there are 3 virulent reference strains. Mahoney strain is type 1, MEF1 is type 2, Socket is the type 3. And how do you inactivate an inactivated polio vaccine, doctor? Formalin is what you need to remember. Lot of single liner MCQs are getting covered in this. Don't forget. How do you give inactivated polio vaccine? Intramuscular 0.5 ml, 3 doses confers IgG mediated immunity. According to the National Immunization Program India, intramuscular 0.5 ml at 14th week, intradermal 0.1 ml at 6th and 14th week. Please remember. Please remember, because this is one favorite question of the examiner. With killed vaccine, there is no risk of vaccine-associated paralytic polio. Most of the people, it has a good immunogenicity. The disadvantage is, as we already discussed, there is no local immunity in intestine. It is not useful in epidemic. Any previous anaphylaxis, it is contraindicated. That's the point you need to appreciate. So, polio eradication and end game strategic plan that was done 2013 to 18. What is the main objective? One of the objectives of polio eradication and end game strategic plan is to remove all oral polio vaccines in the long term. OPV chale jana hai. So the main idea is by eliminating OPV, you are eliminating the vaccine associated paralytic polio and also the circulating vaccine derived polio viruses C, VD, PV and VA, PP. इन दोनों को हटाने के लिए स्विच प्रोग्राम. Therefore, in April 25-2016, India undertook a switch of trivalent OPV to bivalent OPV, removing the OPV2 strain, which is the most common strain associated with VAP. Please don't forget. 2 is most common strain associated with vaccine associated paralytic polio. So इसको निकाल देंगे बोल के निकाल दिए. Bivalent कर दिया, trivalent बंद कर दिया. Now fractionated IPV. A fractional dose of IPV means it is a smaller dose of the same vaccine equal to 1/5 of the standard dose. इसको बोलते हैं fractionated IPV. Now I am talking about most recent concepts about the polio. Right, doc? Let us talk quickly on most recent last 2-3 years developments in the polio, in the entire vaccination program, right? Now, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to create a fractionated IPV? Because it will produce even stronger immunoresponse. So, stronger immune response, large population you can cover, less pain to the baby, and it saves time and improves the coverage. That's the whole idea. Now, how to give this IPV? When to give this IPV? You have to be very sure. So, fractional IPV, it should be given at the same time as the first and third dose of the OPV, OPV1 and OPV3 drops. And along with Penta 1 and Penta 3, pentavalent vaccine we are giving now, DPT, Hepatitis, Hib, right? So at 6th and 14th week. So birth 6th, 10th, 14th, that is the time where you are giving the IPV. Then how to give IPV? First you have to check the vaccine vial monitor and expiry. 0.1 ml dose. You have to give intradermal injection, typically in the upper arm. You need to give is what you should remember. Then why do you want to give with other vaccines? Because you are saving time, improve coverage, and it being fractionated, smaller dosage, the child is not sick. That's the point. Now, few comments on rotavirus vaccine. Almost 500,000 deaths each year in the children younger than 5 years of age are due to rotavirus diarrhea. Such a big problem. 500,000, nearly 5 lakhs. Rotavac. It is a monovalent vaccine. Rotavirus 116E, manufactured by Bharat Biotech, given in 3 doses, 6th week, 10th week, 14th week is what you need to remember. There is a Rotarix, Rotatec. Rotarix is monovalent, Rotatec is pentavalent. Rotarix is given 2 doses at 2nd and 4th. And Rotatec is 3 doses, 2nd, 4th and 6th month. And India has introduced the Rotavac in a phased manner. It's supplied free of cost to all government hospitals and health centers in multi-dose vials. So rotavirus vaccine is a live attenuated oral liquid vaccine available in a 10-dose vial. It does not need any reconstitution. Already diarrhea का risk है. ऊपर से reconstitution बोले तो कुछ infection हो गया तो और tension है, right? Now, open vaccine vial policy is not applicable to Rotavac. And always you should mention date and time of the vial opening is always noted on the vial itself. And the dose is 5 drops, 0.5 ml, liquid frozen form. In liquid form, the vaccine is generally pink in color. So it is supplied with a pink colored dropper that is longer and wider than the dropper which is used for the OPV, and it administered only with the dropper supplied by the manufacturer. And the rotavirus vaccine has VVM2, which is used, vaccine vial monitor 2, which is used for the least heat stable vaccines like oral polio vaccine. There is also a vaccine vial monitor for the Rotavac, and it should be stored along with just above the BCG in the cold chain. So these are the points. Like a parrot, you must rattle out in the tomorrow's examiner. Examiner can ask any of these like a single liner MCQ. Now, you give it in 3 doses, 6th, 10th, 14th week along with other UIP vaccines. No booster dose is required. The maximum upper age limit for giving the first dose of the rotavirus vaccine is 1 year. And if there is any mild upper respiratory infection or mild diarrhea, they are not the contraindications for the rotavirus vaccine, is what you have to ultimately remember. So doctor, you are not going to forget, there is a vaccine vial monitor, it is very heat sensitive, all these things you should be very sure. Then, measles and rubella initiative, MR vaccine. You all know measles is highly infectious, potentially fatal, mostly affects the children. Now, rubella is mild viral, and during pregnancy, if infected with rubella, it can lead to spontaneous abortion, IUGR, congenital rubella syndrome. So what is the national goal? Measles elimination and rubella control by 2020, this year. That is what you need to remember, doctor. This will come as a single liner MCQ. So WHO currently recommends 2 doses of measles vaccine or measles plus rubella. And measles rubella vaccine is being implemented in the immunization schedule in 2014, is what you need to remember. MR vaccine is offered to all government setups free of cost under 2-program implementation strategy. So routine immunizations are 2 doses, first at 9 months, second at 16 to 24 months. And there will be a supplemental immunization coverage. 1 dose, irrespective of the previous status, to all children between 9 months to 15 years, MR vaccine they do. That is supplemental immunization campaign. Right now, in MR vaccine, measles, what is the strain? Edmonston Jagrab. Rubella, RA27/3. These are single liner MCQs. MR vaccine is amber colored, sunlight sensitive, multi-dose vials, freeze dried and reconstituted with sterile water, stable at 2 to 8 degrees, and it should be reconstituted only when it is to be administered. Open vaccine vial policy is not applicable. Diluent should be kept at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius at least 24 hours before use, and it should be carried to the session site at the same temperature as the vaccine, inside the vaccine carrier, even diluent. Each MR vaccine is 0.5 ml subcutaneously in the right upper arm, is what you need to remember. Right, doc? Now, adverse effects with MR vaccine क्या होता है? Pain and tenderness at the site, transient maculopapular rash, transient arthralgia, thrombocytopenia, and there can be anaphylaxis because of the measles component, not rubella. Contraindications: high fever, serious disease, pregnancy, person with anaphylaxis, and those who are severely immunocompromised. Now, what is the next important initiative, doctor? Fight pneumonia. Fight pneumonia. So, pneumococcus is the common cause of pneumonia. Vaccine preventable pneumonia. 7 per 1,000 live births. India has a pneumonia mortality rate. And this pneumonia vaccine is safe, effective, cost effective. How do you give? 3 vaccines which are known to decrease the childhood mortality and related to pneumonia. What are they? PCV, pneumococcal vaccine, Hib vaccine, measles vaccine. PCV, Hib, measles. Don't forget. अगर ये दिए तो childhood mortality from pneumonia will be lesser. संरक्षण मिल जाएगा pneumonia से. That is very, very important. So, Hib pneumonia, they are the directly causing pneumonia, which are vaccine preventable. Whereas influenza, measles, pertussis, they are the indirectly pneumonia causing, which are vaccine preventable. Now, 2 types of pneumococcal vaccine अभी हमने discuss किया. 23 valent, PPSV 23, conjugate type, 10 valent, 13 valent, which is available. Now, India has planned PCV, pneumococcal conjugated vaccine, in its universal immunization program. The idea is to introduce in a phased manner. Once more, in preventive medicine also, same story is repeated, reviewed, questioned in the tomorrow's exam. You should counter-bomb the examiner, right? Now, you have to give 2 primary doses at 6 weeks, 14 weeks, followed by a booster dose at 9 months, right? A open vial policy is recommended for PCV 13 because to improve the compliance and multi-dose presentation, operational feasibility. Then how about conjugated vaccine PCV 13, 0.5 ml dose, IM injection, anterolateral aspect of the right thigh of the infant, first dose at 6 weeks, second dose at 14 weeks, and a PCV booster at 9 months of age, with the first dose of measles rubella. MR vaccine ka first dose and PCV booster are given together along with the first dose of Japanese encephalitis vaccine along with the vitamin A. That is the 9th month का program होता है. नए पैदा हुए Lion King को. First dose should be given under the age of 1 year, PCV 13. So typically PCV vaccination schedule in the states with fractional dose IPV schedule, 6 weeks, 14 weeks, 9 months. So you should be very sure what are all given at 6th week, 14th week and 9 months. So I leave all this PPTs literature for you in the online MBBS.com, doctor. Now, PCV 13 is freeze sensitive vaccine stored at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius in a basket. Don't freeze PCV. Don't freeze PCV. Please remember. And it is given with other UIP vaccines, and but it should not be mixed in the same syringe. PCV is a safe vaccine, and only prior allergy you have to be careful. Common side effects can be irritability, crying, swelling, tenderness, etc. But PCV is a costly vaccine. And open vial policy is applicable, 4-dose vial. And the permissible wastage is less than 10%. Next, a new initiative called TD. Majority cases of diphtheria occur in age group of 5 years and above are mostly in the unvaccinated kids. So from 1999 there has been 80% reduction in the tetanus mortality. But the diphtheria outbreaks are increasing in spite of 80% reduction in tetanus mortality. So the use of TD rather than TT is recommended during pregnancy to protect against the maternal and neonatal tetanus and diphtheria during prenatal care. TD also boosts decreasing the diphtheria immunity in addition to assuring tetanus protection. So what are the TD vaccination guidelines? It is supplied by Government of India under UIP, target age group 10 to 16 years, school going, pregnant women, and typically if you look at the TD vaccine, it is being introduced into the universal immunization program schedule. Then without talking about HPV, how can we conclude our vaccination story? 1 plus 3 is equal to 6. Oh, that happens in HPV mathematics. It is not a part of national immunization program, but important part of adolescent immunization and immunization against neoplasms. So you have Gardasil 9, Cervarix, the 3 different brands. All 3 vaccines, Gardasil 9, Cervarix, they protect against HPV 16 and 18. That is common for all. Because HPV 16, 18 mainly responsible for 70% of the cervical cancer cases is what you need to remember. Now gynecology में एक क्वेश्चन आता है, pediatrics में नहीं है तो differences between Gardasil, Cervarix. Gardasil is quadrivalent, 6, 11, 16, 18. Cervarix only 16, 18. Then it protects against cervical, vaginal, vulval, anal, intraepithelial neoplasm and carcinoma. Cervarix, cervical, intraepithelial neoplasm and cancer only. No protection against the other HPV acquired cancers because only 16 and 18 are there, no doctor. Yahan to 6 and 11 is also there. So Gardasil will guard you against anal intraepithelial neoplasms also is what you need to remember. So Gardasil also protects against anogenital warts, papillomas. Then Cervarix, no protection against warts. Gardasil is given for both males and females. And 3 doses, 0, 2nd, 6th month to be completed in 1 year. Cervarix 3 doses, 0, 1, 6 months to be completed in 1 year. That's what you need to remember. So if it is a bivalent vaccine, 16, 18 included. Quadrivalent, 6, 11, 16, 18. 9-valent vaccine में 6, 11. 6, 11 is for genital warts. 16, 18 mainly responsible for cervical cancer. Then 31, 33, 45, 52, 58, they are all 15% of the cervical cancers are because of that. Now comes the favorite question, PSM wala question in pediatrics. Pediatrics and PSM are one and same. Only the community health doctors who start treating the children become pediatricians. That's the only difference. So Mission Indradhanush was started on 25th December 2014. What is the main aim, doctor? 90% full immunization coverage of India and sustain the same by the year 2020. To be vaccinated against 8 common vaccine preventable diseases. What are they? TB, polio, diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, measles, hepatitis B, influenza A. Indradhanush, full immunization to all children below 2 years and pregnant women. मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों, भूलना नहीं इंद्रधनुष का मिशन क्या है. एंड मोदी जी ने अक्टूबर 7, 2017 को ही इंटेंसिफाइड द मिशन इंद्रधनुष by even covering left out risk population also. So that is how came the intensified mission Indradhanush. IMI is what you need to remember. Very good to see Roshan Yadav. Now doctor, intensified mission Indradhanush क्या करेगा? Complete immunization, MR vaccination campaign को improve करने का intensification. So what are the focus areas where you can bring intensity in the intensified mission Indradhanush? Areas with vacant subcenters, areas which missed 3 or more routine immunization schedules, areas identified as high risk during pulse polio, areas with vaccine hesitancy, low coverage during previous session, nomadic areas, brick kills, construction sites, they are the focus areas. So, what is the schedule of intensified mission Indradhanush? 4 rounds of immunization will be conducted in the selected districts and urban cities. So, accordingly, round 1, 2, 3, 4 was carried on, right? Now, yes, Lodor, what is the meaning of LODOR? Lodor. Left outs, dropouts and resistant families and communities are the key focus. Lodors. There is a favorite MCQ in tomorrow's exam and also for a short note in preventive medicine and pediatrics. So doctor, finally came the modified immunization schedule in India, which is most current now. For pregnant women, we are summarizing everything that we have done, a quick revision, right? So you have spent almost 1.5 hours, 90 minutes to master this topic of vaccination with Dr. Murli Bharadwaj. There are 82 topics like this, doctor, in hot topics in pediatrics. They are not only hot for final MBBS Part 2 pediatric exam also, and also they are hot even for all the PG medical entrances also. We have to be very focused on. It takes about 40 hours for you to do the revision for your final MBBS Part 2 exam in pediatrics with Dr. Murli Bharadwaj. So please tell your juniors to subscribe to onlinembbs.com video library for the final MBBS Part 2. Now doctor, tetanus toxoid, tetanus and adult diphtheria, TD1, early in pregnancy, 0.5 ml intramuscular upper arm. Then TD2, tetanus toxoid, TD2 and tetanus and diphtheria. So 4 weeks after TT1, 0.5 ml IM upper arm. Then TT or TD booster, if received 2 TT doses in pregnancy within the last 3 years, 0.5 ml IM upper arm. We are not going to forget. Now for infants, what is the most current immunization schedule? BCG at birth as early as possible till 1 year of age. 0.1 ml, 0.05 ml until 1 month of age. Intradermal left upper arm. Then hepatitis B, birth dose. At birth, as early as possible, within 24 hours, 0.5 ml intramuscular anterolateral side of the mid-thigh. OPV 0 dose. At birth or as soon as possible within the first 15 days. 2 drops orally. Then OPV 1, OPV 2, OPV 3. 6 weeks, 10 weeks, 14 weeks. OPV can be given till 5 years of age. 2 drops orally. Then pentavalent 1, 2 and 3 at 6 weeks, 10 weeks, 14 weeks can be given till 1 year of age, 0.5 ml intramuscular anterolateral side of the mid-thigh. Pneumococcal conjugate vaccine, 2 primary doses at 6 and 14 weeks followed by booster dose at 9 to 12 months, 0.5 ml IM anterolateral side of the mid-thigh. Rotavirus, please don't forget, at 6 weeks, 10 weeks, 14 weeks can be given till 1 year, 3 ml orally. Inactivated polio vaccine, 2 fractional doses, 6th and 14th weeks of age, 0.1 ml intradermal, 2 fractional doses, right upper arm. Then measles, rubella, first dose, 9 completed months to 12 months. Measles can be given till 5 years of age, 0.5 ml subcutaneous, right upper arm. Japanese encephalitis first dose, 9 completed months to 12 months, 0.5 ml subcutaneous, left upper arm. Vitamin A first dose at 9 completed months along with the MR, 1 ml, 1 lakh international units is being given orally. Then diphtheria, pertussis and tetanus DPT booster 1, 16 to 24 months, 0.5 ml IM anterolateral side of the mid-thigh. MR second dose, 16 to 24 months, 0.5 ml subcutaneous, right upper arm. OPV booster, 16 to 24 months, 2 drops oral. Japanese encephalitis 2, 16 to 24 months, 0.5 ml subcutaneous, left upper arm. Vitamin A second to 9th dose, between 16 to 18 months. Then 1 dose every 6 months up to the age of 5 years. So 1.5 to 5 years कितना हो गया? 3.5 years. 3.5 में कितना 6 months है? You have to calculate, right? So 2 ml is given, 2 lakh international units orally. Then DPT booster 2 between 5 to 6 years, 0.5 ml intramuscularly in upper arm. Then TT and TD 10 years and 16 years, 0.5 ml IM upper arm. So doctor, this is like collector calling. First prize football, first prize volleyball in the school. Still, why I am reciting with you is, it is so important for the examiner tomorrow. So now you are all the champions in the immunization. Microbiology, preventive medicine, pediatrics, so many places is a common topic, even for the entrance exam. So thank you very much for patient listening, and keep tuned with onlinembbs.com YouTube channel, so that sometime in the midnight when we have a quick 1 hour session of the FMGE and NEET PG, once you get a notification, you can be able to join the session. Also ask your juniors doctor to subscribe to the video library to make their final MBBS Part 2 exam become a cakewalk. Let us work together, study together every day as your companion. Good night.